Now, during the pandemic, frontline NHS workers and carers have been rightly lauded, thanked and for a time applauded every Thursday. Well, this Sunday is the 72nd anniversary of the NHS, and there is a call for us all to once again clap for staff, many of whom are still fighting coronavirus. In the first of a two-part series about NHS workers, a junior doctor has been talking to Samina about his experience of lockdown and how he's helped to keep his colleagues' spirits up. A warning, the report does contain some flashing images.
Meet Bodalia, a young doctor working on the coronavirus wards during lockdown. Once his shift is over, he becomes DJ Bodalia and makes music to entertain his colleagues. I went to New Cross Hospital in Wolverhampton to find out more about this multi-talented frontline worker. Let's go back to the beginning, because you only graduated last year and then you were straight into what many would see as a baptism of fire. What was that like?
So I graduated from the University of Birmingham in July last year. I thought around January, February time that I was getting used to what it was like being a doctor, much more familiar with the job that I was doing. But then the pandemic struck, and I have to say I felt completely unprepared. There were a lot of emotions running very, very high, and it's been a learning process for absolutely everyone. Myself, the other junior doctors, nurses, doctors, consultants, and even going as far as security staff and porters. It's completely changed the way we work.
You saw a lot of death though, didn't you, Kishan? What was that like?
It was very, very difficult. I remember all the patients who I've seen who have passed away. The thing that makes it most difficult is that they deteriorate very, very quickly. One of the hardest things is telling the relatives of the patients, their brothers, their parents or their children, that their grandma, for example, has the virus and the outcome is looking poor. And then when they pass away, that's even more difficult. There's no time to prepare for what's going on. That's probably the hardest thing.
But it did affect you, didn't it? As a young, healthy doctor, you actually did get the virus.
The virus affected me on so many levels. Before even having it, I was worried. When I had it, when I had my mild symptoms, I was worried because I didn't know how I would be tomorrow.
Now, you and many of your colleagues have been frontline during the entire pandemic. Mentally, how would you say it's affected you?
Mentally, it's been very demanding. It's been both emotionally and physically challenging. We've got a great team, and that's probably the one thing that's got us through the difficult times. It's the thing that's kept our spirits up. We keep our morale up just by being ourselves and staying together and looking after each other, checking up on each other as well.
So, tell me about the DJing then. How did that come about?
When I went to university, I wanted a new challenge, and naturally I went to nightclubs and festivals with my friend, but it was always the DJ and what he was doing that inspired me. During my third year of medical school, I entered a global DJ contest run by a major international festival, which I was lucky to win, and this pretty much changed everything for me overnight. I signed a record deal with Sony Music for a remix, and I've been able to just get music in front of as many people as I can, and I just want to keep doing that through the pandemic to lift spirits and make people feel good.
Tell us about NH Sessions.
I launched NH Sessions during the first couple of weeks of the pandemic when lockdown began. I realised that morale was at an all-time low across the board. As something entertaining to lift their spirits, I decided to do a DJ set in my scrubs, in my kitchen after a night shift whilst I was making breakfast. And to be honest, this was only for a few people to see, and I couldn't believe the response I had pretty much overnight.
We're coming up, Kishan, then to the 72nd birthday of the NHS, and there is a call again for everybody to go out and once again clap for our frontline workers and our carers. Would you support that call?
Whether we keep clapping going forwards is one thing, but I definitely think we should always have the NHS in the forefront of our mind. The most important thing everyone can do is follow the government guidance and the advice. Hopefully what we've learnt during the last few months will give us a degree of preparation if this is to happen again in the future.
The multi-talented Bodalia talking to Samina there, and that is just what I'm going to be doing in my kitchen when I get home from the late shift this evening.